We're going to make flour tortilla bowls. So let's get started. First, you can do it by hand, but I like to do mine in my processor. So I'm going to start off with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And put that in. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then I'm just going to turn it on just to mix it for a second. Okay. And that's, by the way, using my chopping blade to do that. Now we're going to put a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, or if you want, you can use vegetable shortening, the solid, if you want. And I'm just going to pulse this, just to mix that oil in there. And now you're going to use anywhere from a half to 3/4 of a cup. You can use milk or you can use water. I like to use milk myself, but it really depends on the consistency that you're looking for. So just start it off slowly. I usually have a little bit left over. You want the dough to come out a bit sticky. So I'm going to check that, and it's still not ready. So we'll pour more in. You might use a little more, you might use a little less. Okay. Still need some more. It's coming together. There we go. And I use 3/4 of a cup of milk. Okay, so let's take that off for the moment. And then with some flour on my counter. Otherwise it's going to stick. Then we're going to take that ball of dough out. And then you're just going to form it into a ball. Now it's actually best to take the dough and wrap it in a piece of plastic wrap and let it sit and rest for about a half an hour. I went ahead and made some, and it has been sitting out for about a half an hour. So I'll take that out of the plastic wrap. Put a little bit of flour on it. You don't want to work the dough because it will become very dense and tough. And what we're going to do is I'm going to cut a little less than half. Put that aside for the moment. And just flatten this out. And we're actually going to use a cake tin. Now you can buy these already in the store made for this use, but I have this tin, so that's exactly what I use for it. Still a little bit sticky, so I need to work with the dough just a little bit more. I need to put a little bit of flour onto my rolling pin here. Now you want it to roll out to about 1/4 inch. I'm just going to stretch this by hand to get it started. like to do is I actually just use a dish as a pattern, and I cut off the excess. And then go ahead and spray your pan with your spray. And then I'm going to lift this, and then I'm just going to actually just place this right into this little dish. Now this does take a little bit of patience. You've got to bring it up to the sides. If you happen to tear it, you can repair it with another little piece of dough that you have. I'll show you that in just a second. I'm going to try to make it as even as possible. I'm just going to pull that up. Now you're going to bake this anywhere from 425 to 450. All ovens set up differently, so do start checking them, well, within about 15 minutes or so. They can take 20 to even 30 minutes. And then I just press it in there and then put that in my oven, as I mentioned, for 425, anywhere from 20 to 25 to even 30 minutes. Now, I made a couple ahead of time to show you, and I must tell you that everyone has a different preference of what degree of darkness of the baking process. I did this one, actually the size of the plate that you just saw me do a second ago, and this one came out like this. And then I made even a little bigger one, which I didn't bake it as long. It is completely baked, but it's lighter in color. So what I've really kind of experimented with is that it really depends on you of how much you want this shell to look light or dark. As long as it's baked thoroughly, it's going to be up to you. Now, in case you don't want to use and make one of the bowls, I went ahead and just made the traditional different sizes of the flour tortilla. So you can really try about whatever that you want to do. Here's one that I actually just made a very tiny little one. Looks like a little plate by using this mold that I have. So there you have it. Give it a try. Let me know what you think of the recipe. Leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.